Hello. To those of you who may be watching this, I am making this video primarily for myself in order to try to get some things out in words and process. And I'll probably put it out there too for others to watch, so that's where I'm anticipating that you might be seeing this. I am oscillating right now through some really deep collective places that are holding trauma and this other place that's really, really steady and centered, and where I know myself and I know the intangible nature of my soul. And the oscillation is really challenging and dramatic and painful and dark, and it's just bringing a lot of different things to the surface for me. And I think that they're things that need to be brought to the surface because they're things that when they're not brought to the light, they exist in the subconscious in a way that they create barriers and blocks to the free flow of energy. And my path is really showing me that it's all about learning how energy flows and how I am energy and how I am a part of that flow and how I am a part of everyone else and how we all work together in this life to create together. So creative energy and manifestation are like absolute key themes, cornerstone pieces of my journey. And right now I'm kind of just coming back into the light a little bit more because I've been feeling like I've been in a really dark place for a really extended period of time compared to what's normal for me. Normally, I kind of dip into the darkness and I'm able to get something or come back out pretty quickly and recenter myself pretty quickly. Lately, I have been able to recenter myself, but it's been like different. It's just been a really, really like a steep climb to get there instead of just like a quick shift. And that's how it used to be. But like in the recent past, I have been able to get there more quickly, to get recentered more quickly. So to go back to the steep climb has been a shift. And so one of the things that I've identified today is that's working within me is this feeling that if I ever have stability and security, then I'm not going to be a part of the group of people that I want to help, which is the people that don't have stability and security. And that's like at a soul level and also materially. And I think that this isn't new for me to know that I am holding myself back from having things because I'm afraid of leaving behind what I identify with, which is being a part of a group of people who really is struggling and is it just doesn't have what they need. And that's just been a part of my identity, not just for my life, but also for generations before me. So it's really challenging to come to a place of being just anywhere different with that. And I think that I come to a place where I feel like I am getting past it, where I feel comfortable having abundance. And I know that that's right for me, and I know that that's a soul urge for me to experience that, because I do know that, and that's like consistent. I do know that. But actually moving into it and feeling comfortable with it, I kind of move into it, and I really feel my life force energy, and I feel my ability to create, and I feel everything moving very fluidly. I feel myself being able to stay centered and present and in peace. And then something happens that shakes me, and it puts me back into this position of, well, if they can't have it, why in the world would I? What there's nothing special about me compared to anybody else that would make it so that I deserve to have something that they don't. And I read something recently that was just talking about how it's so easy for us to pray for other people, and it's harder for us to pray for ourselves because it's just harder by nature for some reason for us to give to ourselves, because we have these stories built up about ourselves and what we deserve and what we don't, and there's a self-worth piece that's always at work there, where for others we're able to be more forgiving typically and just say, yeah, of course, I wish healing for you, and for you to be able to have everything that would bring abundance and peace into your life, because I know that we all deserve that, and that's the world that I want to create and that I'm going for. So it's easy for me to pray for that for other people. And then I see that I have a really hard time praying for that for myself, even though it is accessible and I do have the power within me to create that. But um yeah, I see how much everyone else is struggling, and it's not everyone, but like I keep having experiences with people who are really struggling. And that's where I've been like, maybe I need to put myself in an environment where I get to see abundance, like where I get to actually see people thriving. What does that look like? I've never been really around financial abundance. I don't really know what that looks like or feels like yet. Like experientially, I can feel it in my heart and in my soul, but I haven't been around that very much. And it's interesting to listen to people who do have that and hear like their perspective. I know that if I did have financial freedom, I would be able to help people in the way that I want to, and I would be able to create in the way that I want to, and I'd be able to live life in the way that I want to and have the stability and security that I want to. So of course that's a very heart-rooted desire, and there's nothing that's wrong about it. And then at the same time, I have this tendency to go, okay, but it can't be me first. I have to make sure that I help everyone else first. And I just don't think that that's reasonable. I think that it might have to be me first. And that way I can put myself in a position where I can actually be of service in the way that I want to. And it's not that I'm not going to be in service all the time anyway, until then, because I am, because that's what feels good and right to me. And at the same time, I just really want to shift out of this space where I feel that I am really blocking my abundance from manifesting, because I want that. I want that so much. That's really something that's in my heart, and I know that we all deserve that. And it's just, I know these things conceptually, and I also know them in my spirit. And at the same time, it is just not a linear process, and it involves doing so much deep work, where just because I know this and just because I have this feeling and this knowledge and this wisdom that's deep within me that I can teach, it doesn't mean that I get to skip my own process. I still am going through all of the underworld of my own psyche and pulling things out and looking at things and bringing everything to the light. It's a process of illumination, and it does take time and diligence, and it takes a commitment to the practice of doing that and to getting recentered into the heart space so that I can really process everything that I'm seeing and learning about myself, and where I do hold myself back and where I have the freedom of creative energy and how it moves and works within me. So yeah, I've had some interactions recently and some experiences that have happened that are really pulling me into that space of feeling the weight of everything that hurts in the world. And it feels very depressing. It feels very depressing to my energy. And I've struggled recently to be able to maintain my connection with my life force energy enough to just do the things that I want to do every day, and keep up with my own practices and keep my mind open and clear and free and unlimited when I'm looking at my potential future. And, to have the presence and patience and everything that I need has really been a struggle, because I feel so much stress and so much overwhelm with the weight of other people's hurt right now, and how close I've gotten to other people's hurt lately. It's different than like when a client or a friend or anyone who I'm working with will bring something to me and their intention is that they want to heal it and that they want to illuminate it. It's different when I have experiences where I'm processing the hurt of other people who are not trying to illuminate it, and they're not necessarily even aware of their power at all, or their potential to change anything. And so many of us in the world are still in that position, and it is like a sleep. It's asleep because it's dark, and there's a whole part of the self that's cut off that we don't have access to when we're in that state. So it is a process of awakening, coming into this awareness of ourselves and getting to know ourselves. And it's really, really deep and intense and powerful work. And I need art to create a way to put that out into the world, to create a container for it and a delivery method for it, a way that I can take my experiences and kind of package them up and deliver them to others so that we can see each other too. Because whether you're spiritual or not, connection exists and it still has the same healing effect, and that's more important than any belief system. So that's what I have made my priority, is just to create connection and have love and compassion be at the basis of everything that I choose. I think that's extremely important. That is literally the way. And if we can all do that, we're going to experience peace and really drastic shifts and change. It just really hurts to have interactions and experiences with others who, and be also at the mercy of systems who are functioning at the will of others who are asleep to their own pain, and who are not aware that they can do anything about their suffering, and that suffering is a choice ultimately, and that we can put ourselves in a position where we do see pain as a teacher, and we are grateful, and we move forward with empowerment and connection instead. So yeah, I don't have it all together, and I still know that I have a lot to teach and I have a lot of wisdom to share. It's just really difficult to put myself in a position of doing that, of being the teacher, when I am going through so much of my own learning, And like, teaching and speaking on it really does help. It really does help kind of solidify the learning and like manifest the lessons so that I can break patterns and move beyond them. And I know that it does help also to just like share this process out loud so that other people who are on the same journey, which is all of us who are interested in bringing ourselves to the light and awakening and illuminating the parts of ourselves that are still asleep. I know that it's helpful to have connection with other people who are on that same path and who are doing that work. So I am learning that it really doesn't matter where I am. It's pretty much always a good time to speak, because I always have something to say that is going to be connective and assist and support others. And that it's really, really beneficial for me too to speak. So that's where I am today, and I'm moving into the place of experiencing abundance in the way that I know that I can and that I want to. And I'm here to support you and others who are in the process as well. And really, I think that just having connection and having a hand to hold and someone to remind you of the deep wisdom that's within you when you're walking this path and finding the parts of yourself that need to be illuminated and doing that work is really, 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 really beneficial, because that support it's really everything. It's the difference between feeling alone and feeling like we're doing this together. So I hope that me taking the time to speak on this is helpful for you. I am deciding that I am going to put this out. So I hope that it's helpful for you to hear a little bit of my process too. And then if it's something that if you have something that you want to work on together in a one-to-one setting where you can be held in compassion and love and have some reminders of your wisdom and some reorientation to your intuition, then I would love to do energy work with you or a reading with you, a one-on-one session with you where we can focus on you, you know? So just reach out to me, and you can reach me at contact@mamarose.blog, and it's spelled MAMAROSE.blog. So that's where I am. You have my website too, mamarose.blog, and I'm here. Just know that I'm out here and I'm doing this work with you. So we'll get there. All right. Bye.